Herman Melville's Moby-Dick is more than a tale of the sea. It's a deep dive into obsession, fate, and what it means to chase the impossible. Let's set sail.
Call me Ishmael. I am restless and short on money, and when that mood takes me, I go to sea. The ocean clears my head. I leave New York for New Bedford in winter, where the church walls hold old memorials to sailors who never came home. I sleep in a rough inn and find out I must share a bed with a stranger, a tattooed harpooner with a face marked by travel and war. His name is Queequeg. Our first meeting is awkward, even a little scary, but by morning we are friends. He shows me his little god and his calm way of breathing, and I feel safer near him than with any city gentleman. We talk about money and luck and decide to sail together. The talk in the taverns points us toward Nantucket, the heart of whaling. I want a clean beginning. He wants wages to carry back to his island. We shake hands and set out for the harbour. In Nantucket, we find a ship called the Pequod, an old hunter dressed in trophies. The rails shine with whale teeth. The tiller is a jawbone. The vessel looks fierce and seasoned, like a soldier with medals and scars. The owners speak of the captain, a man named Ahab. They respect him, but their eyes soften with worry when they say his name. He lost his leg to a whale not long ago, and he wears a white peg carved from bone. Some say he has not slept a decent night since. Before we sign on, a ragged stranger warns us against the voyage. He hints at an evil fate and vanishes into the fog. We shrug it off and put our names on the book. The crew is a mix of lands and languages, a floating world bound by line and sail. The ship readies, the lines sing, and we push into open water. For a while, the captain does not appear. We see only the mates. Starbuck, a careful Quaker with steady hands. Stubb, who laughs at danger as if it were a joke told for his benefit. Flask, short and blunt, as simple as a hammer. Then one grey morning, Ahab comes to the quarterdeck. He is tall and scarred, the scar running white from hairline to heel. His whalebone leg bites the planks when he walks. He looks like a man who has wrestled a storm and kept a piece of it inside. He calls the crew together. With a sudden blow, he nails a bright gold coin to the mast and says it belongs to the first man who sights a certain white whale with a wrinkled brow and a crooked jaw. The name passes through the crew in a hush that grows into a roar. Moby-Dick. Ahab swears he will chase that whale around Cape Horn and around the world, and if the world will not hold it, then into fire. The men cheer. Only Starbuck flinches and calls it blasphemy to hate a dumb creature for a wound. Word spreads about the white whale. Even before this ship left port, other vessels told stories of a ghostly brute that travels alone, smashes boats, and vanishes into blank sea. Some think the whiteness is holy. Some think it is evil. All agree that Moby-Dick is more than a prize. He is a rumor with a heart that keeps beating. Ahab grows lighter and sharper the more he talks of him. He prowls the deck at night, feeling the wind with his palms like a man reading a secret letter. He promises double wages and glory. He also speaks of something behind the world, as if the whale is a door through which he will strike the hidden thing that torments him. The crew resumes its work. We lower for common whales. We cut and boil. We store oil. Pay must be earned while fate bides its time. From time to time, Ahab questions passing ships, asking only one question: have you seen him? Life at sea moves in slow circles, broken by sudden noise. We coil rope, sharpen irons, mend sails, and stare at the horizon until it stares back. There is a second crew within the crew, led by a shadowy harpooner named Fadala. They belong to Ahab as if to a private god. They keep their own watch and talk little. One night, Ahab forges a special harpoon for the white whale. The smith hammers iron until it glows like the sun. Ahab tempers it not in water, but in the blood of his 3 savage harpooneers, and he mutters a dark baptism over it. The men watch with fear and pride. Work goes on. Sharks circle the floating blubber when we cut down a kill. They snap at the meat while we flinch, and their fins write crooked lines through the wake. In the forecastle, sailors tell jokes and stories. In the cabin, Ahab stares at charts that no longer matter, because he will follow only one track, the spout of a single whale. Queequeg falls sick. He thinks his time has come and calls for a carpenter to make him a coffin the way his people would do. He lies in it like a bed, serene as a monk. He carves little marks on the lid and waits. Days pass, the fever breaks. He rises, thin but alive, and laughs at death without haste. The coffin stays aboard as a chest, a quiet passenger. Later, a sailor falls overboard and drowns, and the crew must make a new life buoy. Someone looks at the coffin and says the word nobody wants to say. It becomes the life preserver. A grave turned into a float. The ship seems pleased with this trade, as if the sea itself enjoys sly jokes. Ahab looks at the coffin with a long, unreadable gaze. Then he turns back to his own storm. We meet other ships and swap news. Some have heard rumors, others carry grief. One captain has lost a son and asks if we have seen a small boat with a boy's name. Ahab barely listens unless the talk bends toward the white whale. From time to time we lower after pods of whales and take a few barrels of oil, but the chase feels like practice. The men are good at their trade, the mates are tireless. The sea gives us calm and gale by turns. Through all of it, Ahab's will is like a compass that never strays. One evening, he stands at the rail and speaks to the wind. He says it blows the same for all souls and all ships. He thanks it for pushing him toward the thing he believes will end his hunger. Starbuck watches from the shadows and prays aloud that the captain will turn away before blood buys nothing. Then at last, the cry. There she blows. A high white spout lifts on the horizon, and every back bows at once, as if pulled by one line. The helm swings. The ship leaps. Boats drop like falling seeds and hit the water hard. Oars bite. We race toward a pale bulk that rises like a hill out of shadow. Moby-Dick shows himself. His head is ridged with scars. Old irons stick from his back like broken branches. He moves with a giant's calm, and then with a giant's sudden rage. He surges. Boats scatter. Lines tangle. One craft shatters. Men go overboard and claw back to the gunwales. The whale sinks. The the sun drops behind a bank of cloud, and we lie to for the night, the ship turning slowly while the men whisper the name in their sleep. The ocean feels wider by half, and the stars look close enough to touch. Dawn burns clear and pitiless. We lower again. The whale breaches without warning and slams the mates' boats to splinters. The sea fills with foam and shouts. In the confusion, Ahab glimpses a shape lashed under the whale by kinked lines. It is Fedallah, drowned and braided to the body of the beast, his dead eyes fixed on the captain like a last sermon. Ahab trembles once, then sets his jaw and orders the attack to continue. The men obey because that is the law of the sea, and because they want the gold, and because a story this big will not let them go back to ordinary life. The day runs out in a long red stripe, and the ship follows the fading spout. The night smells like iron and salt. The crew sleeps in patches. Ahab does not. The third morning is bright, the kind of light sailors trust. Ahab is strangely calm. He speaks to Starbuck with a gentleness that surprises them both. He says he married the sea before he ever knew it, and that the sea has claimed the rest. Then the hunt resumes. The boats pull hard, sharks follow and tear at the oars as if they cannot decide whether to taste wood or flesh. The whale turns and runs and turns again. Ahab stands in the bow and throws. The line sings off the tub. The whale sounds. The boat jerks and skates. In that rush, the rope takes a sudden loop around Ahab's neck. No one sees the exact second it happens. The line snaps tight and lifts him into the air without a cry. He disappears into the boil, carried down by the very cord he set upon his enemy. The crew freezes, then shouts, then rows, as if arms could pull back fate. The whale heaves, the ship lurches, and the Pequod takes her wounds all at once. The end comes fast. Water roars through the hull. The masts tilt like trees in a flood. Tash-Tego climbs the sinking spar and hammers at the flag to keep it flying, and a skyhawk, snared by the cloth, beats its wings under his hand as the whole last scene drops into the sea. The wake closes over ship and men. The ocean goes smooth, as if it prefers a clean table. Only one thing rises. The coffin, rigged as a lifebuoy, pops to the surface with a sound like a breath, and I, Ishmael, cling to it. I drift through a day and a night while the sky studies me and says nothing. In the morning, a ship called the Rachel carries me aboard. She is a sad vessel, still searching for a lost boat, and yet she finds me. I look back at the empty place where the Pequod went down. The sea looks the same as it did yesterday, and as it did 5,000 years ago. Ahab wanted to strike through the mask of the world and touch the hidden force behind it. He found only his own hunger. I am left with a warning and a story, and both are heavy enough to carry.